ask, like, who really runs the house for real? Because, I keep it a buck. Like, my mama ran the show at my house. I ain't even finna hold you. And it's like, like, I mean, my pops, like, he definitely knew what was going on. But, like, my mom's, like,
best leader we know.
But she never made him feel, I bet you she never made him feel like he wasn't no leader, though.
Exactly.
That's why she's the best leader.
See what I'm saying? You got to respect your man. You got to respect your man. And that's the thing. That's the wisdom. You got to have wisdom.
Right. But, okay. But, yeah, I mean, so that's what I was saying. I mean, getting to it just like this, a level of compromise that comes in it, because it's not, and going back to that good leadership, it's not always just what I say, because I might not have the best decision. Like, you might have come up with it and you'll gauge my thought process like, dang, I didn't think of that this way. Like, that's a really good idea. Like, that's why I always consider it as a partnership. Like, we're a corporation. Like, we got to do this together. Because I'm not always going to have the energy to come up with the idea. Sometimes you got to do it. So, all right. So I want to circle back to, like, the leadership in the church, because I don't think we really touched on that. Like, do y'all think, like, there's a disparity, or, I mean, do y'all think women should have a place as far as leadership in the church, or it should only be men leading the church regardless of ability?
I mean, I don't think it should be only men. Sorry, but I think so. I really struggled with this question, because a part of me is like, I've seen good women leaders, once again, because the women are the ones on their face seeking the Lord, right? I don't know what the men are doing, but the women are the ones. Let's have a prayer on the prayer line Wednesday and Thursday. And do y'all have a prayer line? The men don't answer that. Once again, keep it.
They gotta hold your point, girl. They gotta hold your point.
Keep it in your head. So it's like, but at the same time, if God says that the men are supposed to be leaders in their household, then obviously, if the church is supposed to mirror the household, then obviously the men should be the leaders. But I do think there is a place for women leadership in the church, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in. Honestly, at least the churches that I know of, I think there's a disparity where there's a lot of one-sidedness, right? So you have, those that can preach but can't lead, right? And then you have leaders that happen to be a female, right? And honestly, when you think of leadership, when you boil it all down, leadership means influence, right? So that's value that you bring to people, and that's creating relationships. And when you boil it down again, the people that can do that best is women, right? That's why women can get together and do that prayer meeting and do that kind of things. What we're just talking about is because they are naturally gifted at that. That's kind of in their DNA of doing that. So it's kind of tricky when it comes to that, because like, it's like, all right, who would you rather follow, a male or a leader that happens to be a female? You know what I'm saying? So it's tricky. Of course, naturally you can find some men that can lead and, preaching, but when you're talking about churches, your main job is to lead others to Christ. So if you can't lead, why are you in that position? You know what I'm saying? So it's tricky, bro. It's tricky, as far as, that is concerned. So.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna chime in real quick on that too, and it kind of goes back to the point we was talking about. If there's a disparity in the decision, I believe a good leader, male or female, is somebody who's able to see the decisions and be able to pick the best one, and be able to go the course of the best one, even if it's not their own. And if someone has a different opinion and someone has a different course of action, and obviously they probably got their inspiration from God and all that, then they are able to pivot and they're able to go in that direction. That is the best way to go. If you look at it per se, like, there should be no problem to answer your question for Chinato. There should be no problem of a man who's a leader in church or has a capacity in church, and let's say they see a woman who does something way better than them, and then there's a space made for them to be able to expound on that gift and to be expound on that thing, and they're a leader of that, and they're able to flourish and be able to grow and build in that sense, and that's good leadership. So that person's a leader, the person who appointed them is a leader in a sense. There's many different forms of leadership, I mean, but if you want to think of it that way, there needs to be some kind of definitely cooperation between men and women, because as DJ said, women are, if you want to speak of it statistically again, women are definitely more social creatures. So there's like things that they can do that are generally speaking will be way better than a man in an outreach perspective or in a social capacity. Just generally speaking, once again, I'm talking. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it's just as we, start getting wrapped up, I think it's just kind of like a tricky, like a fine line, because like there's so many examples where a man is absent in the household and, the woman is the leader, and, everybody stays in line. Everybody, comes up and makes something of themselves, and it was just her. So, I don't think the ability should be limited in certain capacities, but I think like most of what we've been talking about in church is based on a rooting and teaching, and the teachers are appointed, and I think there's different scripture that speaks on that specifically.
Yeah, but to that point, Fortunato, I think what you're describing is a less than ideal situation, right? Like single mothers having to do what they do on their own. That's not really the model God has designed for mankind. So while a woman is able to do it, it's not the best, most optimal situation. So I do think, kind of echoing what Will just said a little while ago, the church is mirroring how the man and husband, or husband and wife, relationship is supposed to be. So when it comes to like a pastor, I do think if possible, it probably should be a man, but definitely there's space for women to operate in other levels. And of course there are women pastors, and it's not to shade any of them, but I would say that probably it's most ideal if it is a man at the head of that. Yo, what's up everybody? This is DTH of the Hold Your Point podcast crew. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content, and as always, we'll see you next time.